What is up, guys? Welcome back to my OBS tutorials. Today we are going to get into actually recording gameplay, what most of you are actually probably interested in. So if you watched the first video that I put out, you know what all these little buttons do, but if you don't, or if you didn't watch my first video, then I will quickly just show you what we need to do. So again, we're going to add a scene, and we're going to make this one called, say, games. And then inside the sources, we are obviously going to add a game capture because that's what we're going to capture. I am going to use BF4 for this example. One thing that you will have to do when it comes to OBS is add a different source for every game that you play. So I do have Battlefield 4 open down below here. So remember, you do have to have your game open whenever you go to select game capture. You don't have to have the game open right when you open this window. You can just hit refresh. Then your game should pop up. But remember, the game does have to be on for it to be up in this capture menu. So I'm just going to add Battlefield 4. So say if I wanted to add Left 4 Dead, I would go to game capture, add Left 4 Dead 2 or whatever, and then I would have to open up that game, select it in my drop down list, and go on from there. And then when you record, you can just select what game you want to record, and then OBS will automatically lock on there. So now that we got that set up, we can go ahead, and I'm going to pop up Battlefield here. It's just running in a window, so I can hit preview stream, and I do have my preview disabled because I was messing around earlier. Anyway, you can see it's in this kind of smaller window here. That's because Battlefield 4 is running windowed. OBS just automatically puts this border around it, but don't worry, when I actually pop into Battlefield, OBS will actually go into full screen mode as well. So don't worry about that. That's all you need to set up to capture gameplay. So it's really, really simple, really straightforward. Again, if you wanted to do webcam stuff, you go down to web capture device. I would just name this webcam. Again, 640 by 480 is what I recommend for face cam, and 30 frames per second. Hit OK. Then my webcam is going to pop up here. I'm going to hit edit scene. That's going to give me this red box around it, so I can move it around, put it in different spots, resize it, all that kind of stuff. So you're ready to go. Remember, this is going to record all on one video track, and your audio is going to record all on one audio track. So in OBS, it does pay to take the time, do a couple test runs, make sure your audio levels are right, make sure your webcam is in the right proportions, make sure your resolutions are correct, everything like that, because it's kind of a one-shot deal when you're going with OBS. Remember, this is live streaming software that we're kind of manipulating to record to our hard drive. So yeah, like I said, just make sure you got it set up right before you do a whole Let's Play and realize something was off. So that's all it is. That's how easy it is to set up a scene and get ready to go. So here in the next little bit, I'm going to go into the settings and actually show you what we're going to change to make the computer recognize that we're recording and not live streaming. So you can see we are in the settings tab. To get here, you just hit the settings button right there, and generally not worrying about anything. Again, in the encoding, this is like if you watched the first video I did, we're pretty much going to leave everything the exact same. So our max bit rate, that's actually supposed to be 1000, I apologize, and we're not going to use CBR. We are going to use a custom buffer size of 0. What this enables the program to do is basically use a variable bit rate. So say Battlefield, it has a bunch of crazy stuff, we need to open up the bit rate and make it really big so all this crazy explosion stuff can get captured in full quality. Then it's going to allow OBS to write that huge file. That's why we put our buffer size on 0. So that's pretty simple right there. Just copy down these settings and you're ready to go as far as the encoding tab goes. Broadcast settings, again, we do this is where we say we're not live streaming, we're trying to record. So file output only is where we would do this. Set up your folder, find a folder, then hotkeys, that's self-explanatory. The video tab, this is where you might have to mess around, but generally speaking, I would say most people record 1920 by 1080 at 30 frames per second. When we get into the live streaming bit, we'll mess around with resolution downscale. You can downscale it to 720 if you record your videos in 720 anyway. then you can just downscale it right here. No reason to downscale it later in Vegas. Might as well make the file smaller and easier that way. So this will also take stress off your system. If you're really getting bogged down doing 1080 video, try knocking it down to 720 and see if that helps. But again, 30 FPS is all I recommend recording at. Audio, pretty easy here. I just leave it default for my computer audio and then select your microphone wherever that comes in, if it's a headset mic or whatever. If you did add a face cam, here's where you can change your offset. So if your webcam and your mic aren't syncing up perfectly, you can add a millisecond or two or subtract milliseconds and try to sync your mouth and your voice up a little bit better there. So that is a sweet feature, especially when it comes to live streaming. Some weird things can happen when you live stream. Onto the advanced settings. So this is all going to be, I'll just put it back to default so I can explain this. This is what it's going to look like. I just enable CFR, constant frame rate, and then I use a custom X264 encoder. This can be anywhere from 0 to 20. 0 being a lossless file, and I do not recommend ever using just flat out 0. 1, it's a huge file, and 2, oftentimes video editors can't read the way they encode it to be lossless. Kind of gets funky, especially in programs like Vegas. So I do not recommend a CRF of 0. I like 5. Mess around with this number. Go between 5 and 15 is what I would suggest. See if you can tell a difference. The lower the number, the bigger the file, obviously. So pretty simple. You can mess around with your CPU preset. Be careful here. Keep an eye on your CPU. Basically, you can change it to work a little bit harder. It will give you a warning. And like it says, don't change this until you totally understand. So I suggest you go to the forums. I'll put a link down below to the forums so you can read and understand exactly what you're doing. It's not like it's going to kill your CPU, but it definitely can put a lot of stress on it. So just full disclosure there, and a warning ahead of time so you don't screw anything up. And that's all we're going to change on that page. This is very much like the first video, so I apologize if you guys watched the first one and this is getting repetitive, but just in case you guys happen to click only on this one, I wanted to go over everything from top to bottom. So that's all we're going to change there. Hit OK. And then these two little sliders here are pretty simple. Obviously, we have our microphone and our game audio. So like I said in the very first part, make sure to check your levels, make sure your webcam is in focus and all that before you start recording. One thing I guess I should mention when it comes to webcam is you can hit your configure. I obviously have the Microsoft LifeCam. This is where I set my focus and all that stuff. So you can configure it within OBS. You don't have to go get your third-party software or anything. So really handy. I really like what OBS did as far as all this stuff. So that's all. I think that covers it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them below. I'll tack on some footage at the end of this video of me running around and stuff in Battlefield 4, and you can see the quality that this will spit out for you. I still prefer DxTory personally, but this is a great option for free recording. It is super good. Like I said in my last one, this is so handy, such a handy piece of software. It will give you good quality recordings, and you can do face cam stuff, microphone, everything, the whole shebang, and it's free. So good. Okay, dudes, links down below, and here's some Battlefield 4 footage. Check it out for yourself. See you guys.